Tim Cunningham displaying sure and dexterous touch at the poetic endeavour. Richard W. Halperin is an Irish-US poet who lives in Paris. Since 2005, he has been widely published in journals, mainly in Ireland, for example, Revival, the Stony Thursday Book, The Shop, Cyphers, The Steamy Fly, featured poet, summer 2009, Poetry Ireland Review, Ropes, Galway. He will be reading from his debut collection, Anniversary, from Salmon Poetry Limited. He gave his first reading in 2007 at Glenstal Abbey. Richard W. Halperin.
Will be grand. Must have been a giant here. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
No? Could somebody bring it down to what's unfortunately wrong? Thank you. Is that better? Can you hear now? I'm still here. All right, here we go. The title of the book is Anniversary, and it's used in the Irish sense. But there are echoes of the way that anniversary is used to mean other things. And in a way, the book is about me and is about people whose anniversary is mentioned, but I wouldn't have written the book that way. There are millions and billions of people who mourn our anniversaries, and that was what was in mind when I composed this book. And I'd like to break the sequence that I myself had set up, because I'm trying to go with the vibes here. And I'll start with a poem that also catches up Revival, which published it, and also prompts me to say that although all poets have to deal with love and death, we have no choices. Practically everybody in this room knows. There's also resurrection. And for those for whom the word has been too negatively charged, I suggest revival is a very handy substitute. The trick is to be resurrected when you're still here. This poem, and most of you in this room who write poems, get prompted by anything. This poem is called Black Swan, White Swan, and was prompted because when I was going through a tough time, and everybody goes through tough times, a friend had sent me this news clipping. So I will start with the news clipping, which prompted the poem. The poem is called Black Swan, White Swan, and I will read the news clipping from 2004. An excavation made in 1975 behind the town of Vedbæk in Denmark revealed the body of a tiny child laid to rest in the embrace of a swan's wing. Next to the skeleton was the grave of the child's young mother, dead in childbirth. Her face had been dusted with red ochre, the better to seem alive. Mother and child had been interred around 4800 BC. Black swan, white swan, bear my child higher and higher to the isle, past the last star's dial, winkless. Black swan, white swan. Black swan, white swan, bear my child in steep sleep unreconciled, past the snares we defile, past our pile, to the isle, brinkless. Live child, dead child, black swan, white swan. Black swan, white swan, bear my child higher and higher to the isle, live child, dead child, live child, linkless. Black swan, white swan. Black swan, white swan, bear my child past the circles wild and mild, higher and higher. Black swan, white swan, black swan, inkless. Swan child, child swan, one. My child, my swan, black swan, white swan, gone. She was in no hurry. I saw a woman walking in a field of rye. She was in no hurry. A child was at her side, a little boy, hatless. She showed no fear of the sun at noon, but, I thought, she's headed for the shade, and that explains it. I'd never noted until then that rye moves in waves, brown, yellow, green, glints of white. How like a beach it was, how like it was what cities aren't. Waves undulating, or maybe it was she that was the waves, her easy walking. The boy grabbed her sunburnt hand and kissed it. Who wouldn't have? On such a day as this, of air and almost quiet, and rustles in the brush of mice and moles and grasshoppers and grain, I thought she was coming toward me, boy in tow. But as I gazed, she walked farther. Does the soul really look like this? Oh yes, I knew. It was she. I wouldn't have thought that, but for the moles. But having fallen in love with you the day before, I barely noticed. Apocrypha. Beloved, don't expect a letter from me, not from Patmos, not from Corinth. You are the envelope. The letter is in you. You have written it in expectation. What did you hope I would write you? What did you hope I would counsel you? How badly did you hope I would miss you? Here, I shall help you write it under your ribs. It is sodden. It is shameful. It is stamped all over with the stamp rejected by experts. It is, in fact, like mine, crushed into a ball under my own ribs. Love is bad guesses, sent unerringly of themselves. What need have we, therefore, of letters? Then, apropos of nothing, a very short one. Crow black. Mouse brown is orange. Coal black is blue. Faces are acts of courage. Crow black is purple and green if you look hard enough. Another rather short one. Matchbox. The Chinese did not invent firecrackers. God is one. Something is always being blown to bits. Everything gets blown to bits sooner or later. Boo-hoo. But there's more than that, as every dragon knew when there were dragons. Nothing can also be blown to bits. Something improbable triggers it, and then instead of nothing, love, it's called.